Ready to learn how our students can earn $5, $10, even up to $20,000 a month flipping houses? Click the Academy link for free details.
Hey, this is Ty Henderson. I wanted to share my story with you. I'm a real estate investor. I've been doing about maybe 4 deals a month until I met Peter. I needed to ramp up to maybe 10 deals plus per month, and Pete always brags about how he's doing 10 deals a month. So I thought I'll take him up on it. And using his system, he's taught me how to generate more than hundreds of seller leads per month. Now, after he taught me how to get my seller leads, the biggest thing that I had a problem with was actually negotiations. And I mean, oh my God, when I watched Peter's 4 videos, it taught me how to negotiate deals to my benefit. Now, really, I don't recommend seminars and courses to everybody, but Pete's course really took me from level 1 to level 15, and I'll recommend it to anybody.
Okay, so what I want to talk to you today about is kind of a little bit of a funny story from my past, but also a very important example for those of you that are out there wholesaling deals and flipping deals and stuff like that. I don't know why, but for some reason in this business, the whole concept of wholesaling, many times it's almost like belittles everything. Many times people think, well, if I'm wholesaling, I'm making maybe $3,000 or $5,000. If I'm wholesaling, I'm doing smaller houses or I'm doing smaller deals. And it's just whole connotation that exists among investors that wholesaling means small. And what you're forgetting is that is absolutely totally not true. You're totally leaving out all the huge opportunities that exist out there. Is there anything wrong with wholesaling an apartment building? Absolutely not. A piece of land? No, absolutely not. Even small subdivisions I've seen wholesaled. So let me give you kind of an example of the first wholesale deal I did. That was a big deal, and this was many, many years back. And actually a buddy of mine turned me on to an apartment building in Midtown in Atlanta, Georgia. And I can't remember exactly the size, but I think it had about 30 or 40 units in it. It was a several $100,000 deal. And I just thought, I wasn't back then in any position to buy something like that. I was already wholesaling fairly successful the smaller deals that we're also used to talking about. And then I just thought, well, is there anything wrong with me wholesaling this kind of deal? And you know what? That, to me, that was like almost foreign to even think like that. I mean, it almost didn't hit me for almost a week or two after I saw this property. Why not wholesale it? And I still remember all the way through the process how I worked that deal. Number one, I was nervous as heck. I don't know why. Somehow the larger numbers got me nervous. I think that's why so many of us don't do the larger wholesale deals, is because it's larger numbers. But guess what? I actually found the buyer pretty much the exact same way that we find buyers now. I started hitting on all the local apartment owners in that area. And the guy almost was kind of catty-cornered to this one, said he wanted the deal. I still remember, because remember, this is my first one back then in terms of a large deal. And I still remember it was actually a closing attorney that I did not necessarily use all the time, but I knew fairly well. And I was so nervous back then. I was nervous about using one HUD. Now we use one HUD for our wholesale deals. Back then, again, just the whole enormity and the size of it got me all worried. So I still remember we're at the closing attorney's office, and I had the buyer in one office, and we had the seller in another office. And literally, I was just, the way I was structuring, the way I was setting it up, I was way, way overcomplicating it. And you know what? That was a several $100,000 deal. And on that one deal alone, I made probably as much as I think about it, I probably made as much as I would have on about 20 or 30 smaller wholesale deals. Here's my point. Don't ever be afraid of trying to flip or wholesale a larger deal. That process doesn't really change. You still go after the buyers the exact same way. You still like the property the same way. And here's the best news of all. Almost inevitably, almost 100% of the time, as I looked at my history of many more years of doing these larger wholesale deals, the profits are enormous. And I mean do enormous compared to these smaller ones that so many of us are used to that we're making, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. So don't let the size of a deal ever scare you. Don't let an extra 0 or 2 zeros on that back end scare you. The process, you do it the exact same way you do it. Hey, I hope that helps.